So, what we're going to do is we're going to go over this game. Shibano Torimaru is now a very, very, very heavily influential kind of player. I've seen games of his where he's just given away whole groups to continue going after the middle. So I'm kind of curious to see, as a player, is he going to stick to this? Is he going to be able uh, to remain with this style, despite the fact that that's usually kind of one that doesn't work out too well? Let's see. I had a stat here in one of my windows. Yeah, 12 wins, 4 losses. So he's doing pretty well. He's doing very, very well. Not many players can boast a record like that in professional play, right? So I'm curious to see how Shibano does. I'm very curious. And this is one of his games. He is white. We have white opening up with a 4-4. Black opens up dual 3-4s. And we have an instant fight by Shibano. This is an offer to a fight. You could always decline. You could say, you know what? No, I'd rather not play here. I'm going to play in the opposite corner. It's still open and free. Might as well. Black pincers wide. White approaches yet again. Now we have a very, very relatively complicated game going. Black keeps it simple. Pincer ignored, so we're going to kick. We would not answer here, because if we answer, you can picture what's going to happen. We answer at 1. He'd probably play somewhere around 2. Now we need a base. That's a problem. That base is Gote. So you might find your opponent taking an empty corner, might find him attacking your bottom right from a stronger position, so usually we don't draw out 1. Instead, he decides to say, hey, you want to play the Taisha? And Black says, not on your life do I want to play the Taisha, I'm just going to go and take my territory, thus giving White influence, which is probably suiting him just fine, because he is a rather influential player. I've mentioned this before, but I feel like I'm going to mention it again, because I'm about to. This is a fairly easy Joseki to go after. If like you're playing one of those people that for some reason just seems to like trying to force you in the Taisha, you can simply hit and go across like so. Just remember that if you play this way, not to jump until you make 3 stones here at M3. If you jump before that, if you go 2 spaces then jump, because maybe you've heard that's a good idea, well, the problem with that is we encounter this problem, this really, really glaring problem right here. We're going to wind up giving away our corner, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it, because if we go here and say, hey, look at me, I've got a stone, no, you really don't. That's going to wind up be nice and surrounded, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So unless you want to be completely surrounded, you want to extend 3 and then jump. Otherwise, ripples and passeroni. So we have this, this, and that. Don't beat me in Twitch chat says, last time I tried to play Joseki, you played, I just got killed. I swear you can't go wrong with this one, right? I mean, it's straightforward. You just go forward. There's no variation. You have to play here. As long as you don't play here, I mean, you're not going to see the cut because the Hane, because if they Hane, you just cut their face off because you can't hold all the cut points. So you have to extend, then you jump, and then you're good. It's fine. So with Sente, he goes and decides to continue trying to poke fights rather than going after corner. We could go after corner, but then you have to figure we're probably going to wind up seeing something like this. Then what are we going to do? We're going to extend from here and then go back into that. That's not an ideal use of this, especially since this cut still exists. So we go back into here. We make a misclick. There we go. Black says, I'm going to play large. White says, I'm going to fight. rather than saying I'm going to play here, which isn't very useful for us. We're probably never going to get a chance to actually use the amount of influence if we just kind of settle here. So let's see what white wants to do. He's expanding quite far, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 6, 7 stone wall-ish, sort of. Maybe 6, not 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not really over-concentrated. It's not too close. So it's got a pretty decent position from the wall. Can't argue that we're too close to thickness. Black kicks rather than going here. If we go here, then there's Aji left behind. Can't really do this, otherwise this is going to be the shortest game on record. Well, not really, but it's going to be one of them. This is pretty not good. Because not only you have to play here, you're going to have to like play something like this to make sure that you're not going to die. And at that point, you know, white's pretty much out, and you're not feeling quite so well about this game anymore. I guess you could play here, and then that kind of changes things, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because we can throw in, right? If we get surrounded, we can play here, and then here, and then here. And then here, and then here. Yeah, nothing changed. We can kill that corner. Knew I was right about that. So yeah, can't do any of that. So we kick to defend. White gets to extend up as a result. Black's going after those 2 stones. Looks like guys has a little bit of a large area here, so we're developing it now. A little bit. It looks like a little bit too large. I mean, it looks like that still can be pincered, so I doubt right now all of this is going to be whites. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, the reason why this is a good thing to get in, let's say we are super greedy and aggressive, and we're like, look at all my territory that I have now obtained for myself. Aren't I amazing? Not really, because this is now potential. And that shrinks really fast as that corner really expands. Now, we could say, that's completely fine. I'm just going to go and exchange this one first, and then play here. But again, it's not really all that large because there's still a lot of Aji here. Since those stones don't really have a base, you can either choose to Atari them and then play something along the lines of this. That shrinks things relatively fast. You could also just be a bit more aggressive and try to go all pokey poke because we can't try to do anything else. Okay, that's bad. Since we'll just get killed here, that's a bit of a bummer. So getting this exchange in is pretty nice. We still create the cut points because we don't want to back off. If we back off here, we get the Atari. And if we get the Atari, then we've got Gote. We don't like Gote. Black now has Gote. So we play here, it creates multiple cut points. White connects. Now we can go and see about reducing the area. So there's a big difference. We back off. We end in Gote. We create cut points. We end in Zente, potentially. So we get the cut point in. Now white has to worry about that little stone. So how is he going to deal with it? That cut point is amazing. Are we going to Atari it? If we Atari it, maybe there's a ladder that we can deal with. Are we going to back off? Then the area is still cut. We can bring it out later. White says, I'm going to back off, so there's Aji. That Aji becomes immediately available because we could picture things like, what if I play here? This is a nice little threat to reduce your area and link up my stones. So if you protect, then we can put pressure. If you go under, then I can drag out. So there's Aji there still. There's Aji. But black says, all of that territory doesn't belong to me. Pretty huge corner, don't get me wrong. Without it, you do have to consider that, one, there's this, and also there's even things as simple as, let's see, what is it? This, maybe? Looks like there's Aji still. But black is simply saying, I'm going to defend myself. I have tons of territory. White says, I'd be bringing my stones out. And black says, I'd be not caring. I have 5th line territory. Taking the open corner. Now it looks like, hard to decide. Is K17 bringing an open corner? K17, K17. That's arguable. Like, right now, he wants his profit. That is a lot of solid profit that he has with K17. It nicely ensures that those 2 stones for white can't really come back to life. If those stones do come back to life, because of the Aji that's still present, in the fact that you're trying to kill 2 stones with a large knight into a small knight, then this is suddenly a lot of profit to give away for stones that aren't dead. So I guess he felt, you know what, I need to take my profit. Cool. Takes corner. An amateur would probably take the open corner. Absolutely, 100%, all day, every day. But I like the solidity of taking that corner. Question for everybody. One little test. Why does black play here? Out of curiosity, why does black play the approach where he's approached? Why doesn't he play something like the approach over here to grow, the approach over here to grow, or the split? Why doesn't he do one of these things? Twitch chat says to reduce that side. Fire says too much sake. No. This is the largest pawn on the board. And I just recently saw a lecture where Dasan was pointing this out too. Well, not lecture, but a review. You can easily count to see which area is larger. We can just count lines. That's 6. This is 5, so that's smaller, right? And last but not least, we can count moot after 6 because that's clearly larger. This is obviously the largest side of the board. So we're going to approach from the largest side of the board. Otherwise, if we do not do that, we say, let's say, I don't know, we're going to do something else. Like we play here, and then we play here because we're protecting all that lovely territory. Then suddenly you've let your opponent maybe get a framework. You tried to go after like 4 or 5 lines of territory. He's trying to go after twice that. That would be a bit of a problem. So we don't really want to do that. So instead, we go bloop. Now white has to decide how, or black has to decide, no, white has to decide how he's going to do. He's going to pincer, trying to continue to develop large areas. White finds black changing direction. Because we can go into the corner. White separates us, not with that move, but with that one. And now head explodes. It's like, really? Really? Are you joking? Does that explain why the split is bad? Sorry. Let's go back to head exploding in a minute. That does not explain why split is bad. Who said that? Red said that. Okay, so the reason why the split is bad is because, let's see, simple. So what you're doing here is okay, when it's Gote, But two, you're also pushing your opponent to two different enclosures, which you usually wouldn't want to do. Like, we could split this by arguing over that side, but by doing so, we're probably giving our opponent two different enclosures, and one of them is going to be a 3-4 enclosure, which is kind of large. We could play here. Our opponent could still do this to get one of the enclosures in, but that's a lot better than what we just saw, because then we get to follow up on the corner, we can block the extension and follow up later, we can do a lot more. Like, maybe if this was a 4-4 stone, not a 3-4 stone, by this, I mean, come on. Here we go. This one. If this one wasn't, then we could probably do a 4-4. That would probably be okay to try to split. With a 3-4 stone, you almost never want to. And you know what? I see that so many times by even 5-dans on Taijim that I want to kind of repeat that. Like, let's say you see something like, well, I meant to do a 4-4 stone there, but this will work too, I guess. Like, let's say you see something like this. And your opponent splits. This is another instance where we probably don't want to actually... You know what? Let's do something easier. See, easier. We're not even going to argue about Aji. Bam. Simple, small knight. Another instance where we probably don't want to just split, because right now, we're kind of inviting our opponent to take an enclosure in Gote, so we can take an extension from our enclosure. So by splitting, we're saying, you know what would be really great for you right now? I think it would be great for you if you had an enclosure and extension, because I don't really mind giving those away for free, which you should really mind about that. But yet I do see this a lot, so thought I'd come back and bring that up. I wonder why they kept playing the split for centuries. That was a bit different. Didn't they used to keep playing the split for the 4-4? Like this one? And then this one? Are you referring to this one? Yeah, with 4-4 they did. And I think the 4-4 split is still okay here. It just leads into a Joseki that everybody knows and has memorized by now. Like, no one should ever get this wrong. And I do mean... Okay, I just got that wrong. I'm sorry. What am I playing? Holy crap. You. Haha. That really helps the argument that no one should get it wrong, huh? Like, everybody can totally predict this is exactly what's going to happen when you play at R10. So once you've taken a lot of the variation, a lot of the possibilities out of the game, why would you suddenly... What is this? How many moves is this? We went from move what to move 22. Which move was this? Yeah, so why would you go from move 6 to move 22 in a really deep set pattern? That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, right? I mean, you want positions to be resolved, usually you want positions to be resolved as quickly as possible with some Aji left behind, so you can do cool things later on. Not like just completely decide that the entire board is all nice and sealed and spoken for with not a lot you can do later on, because that takes a lot of, reading and stuff out of the game. Completely going off on a tangent, but it's also one of the reasons why you find this not being played quite so much anymore. I almost played it again. Whoops. I mean, we used to play this Joseki a lot, but there's now no reason to. Give me a white stone, please. Thank you. But we don't play this very much nowadays either, for the same reason. Like, we know exactly what's going to happen. Like, we're going to go into a ladder. Your opponent's going to attach to the ladder. We're then going to get into some stupid fight over this. And there's no reason to like really mess up this much of the board, and the sequence has pretty much been not solved, but pretty decently solved, right? Anyway, that was a tangent. Where are we? We're here. Cool. So now we're here. This move makes no sense to me. Yeah, it's a probe move. I don't know what he's looking to find. Like, what's the probe? Is it... Like, black, rather, responds here. And white gets one extra move in. Right? So I guess if he responded with the empty triangle, maybe he would have tried to play something like this? Like, I don't really know where the Haji's coming from and what he's trying to do. But it looks weird. It's an interesting forcing move, I'll grant. I would never have thought to play here right now. In my game ever. Yeah. Like, that's not a thought that's even in my head anywhere. Because my luck, I'd be like, okay, we're going to play here for Raji. And then my opponent would ignore me and I'd play another move there and I'd still be dead. And, no, better yet, I'll be doing that on stream and look like a complete moron. I'll have like 90 people tuning into me just being dead. That would be inefficient, yeah. It's like, well, you played twice in a row and you still didn't live. Have you learned your lesson? Yes. So black responds. White's milking his position for all it's worth. White says, or black says, you are not alive. Now we have some Aji here. Getting kind of iffy. Black says that's not a Sente. I'm gonna protect here. So even black at this point is like, dude, you need to stop. You can't live back here. White's like, are you sure? It's like, well, okay, let's look here. Gonna cut through here. Extending down, looks like we got some Aji. Still going for something, seeing what's available. Seems dead still. That's interesting, and keep in mind this doesn't connect to S13, right? That's pretty dead. So we can just block that off. Now that I'm surprised about. But you can see is what he's trying. Like if black descends here, then what we're looking at now is we can capture this, but then we're in trouble, right? Because we only have like 3 liberties here. And white has 3 on the outside too. So that's an issue. Yeah, we'd be alive. We have to be like, okay, I guess you just get to live now. And then I guess black would just resign horrified at what he just saw. So you can kind of see that even with all of these stones here, there's a ridiculous amount of Aji. Aji, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is really what separates amateurs from professionals. I messed up this tree completely, didn't I? There, and then there. No, I didn't. So now we go here, and we get Atari. Target's connected. And now it's completely fine. Don't have to worry about a thing. Now it's just Co. A think is here. What? Yeah, a thing is definitely here. Definitely something to worry about. That is a Co. So we push first, and then go to Co. Black is going to ignore everything because, oh my god, that's large. That's what I thought anyway. He actually answers. Okay. Black says, this is my threat. White says, you must be joking. That's now large. So White says no, or Black says no. I'm serious. This is my threat. I mean, I've got the Aji here. Remember the Aji? Bat was just talking about it not too long ago. Like I could like go here and threaten to come in because there's Aji with the cutting stones. Forcing move. And then Shibano decides to go and attack because he does that. So now we have to decide what is going on in here. Black decides to kind of come out. So White extends. Black comes out again. White protects now, defending himself. Can link up underneath as well. We get some forcing moves. Wait, that's not what he does. What does he do? Oh, he connects because he's not stupid. Got it. So he connects. Unfortunately, he gets a cut. Black says, that's fine, I'll kill everything. So right now we're trying to kill everything now as Black. All of these stones have to die. White says, well, the problem with that is that exists, so we need to save this. Problem with this is now there's 3 liberties on both groups, so this is getting problematic. We have to extend. 4 liberties on the center group, 3 liberties on the top group. That'll extend out, so we need to extend again. The extension there means White gets to connect underneath. Black fights it and says, you're dead. White says, no sir, I'm not. Black says, yes you are. Because I can connect underneath. Haha! White Ataris. Black connects. And then we swoop down on K9. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All we need now is 4 liberties. 4 liberties, and White's dead. All we need are 4 liberties. So how do we get 4 liberties? I think even if Black had 4 liberties, White would win. Really? Am I missing something? Oh, after sacrifice. Very probable. That corner is so large to have, yeah. So, okay. Black jumps out. White's like, I don't want you having liberties. Got ourselves the 4 liberties. Oh, I'm sorry. We need 5 liberties. Wow. Wow, I'm so stupid. Yeah. I missed a liberty. I can't count. I'm sorry. We need 5 liberties, not 4. Thank you, Twitch chat. You know how to count. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good point. Yep. We know you can only count to 2. That is something that I've said before. So we need 5 liberties. That makes it even worse. So I was like, okay, can I get Liberty here? White Atari. And we have no way to get Lecture Liberty. So we're dead. Black resigns. I can't even imagine how painful of a game this has to be for someone. I mean, after this. I mean, oh my god, you defended. And then you defended. And then you just died. That's a thing. This is one of the reasons why I'm a Shibano fan. He's slowly proving himself to be an interesting fighter, but he does prefer these weird games of influence. So I'm hoping he becomes a 9-dan. I want to see him as a 9-dan. I want to know if his style changes. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Or maybe I just want him maybe I just want to see him against 3-dans forever. I'm not really sure. Top pros, okay, I can answer a couple of that, a little bit of that. He has played Ichiriki Ryo, and he's won against him. He's played against Shibano. Bunch of Western players, interestingly enough. He played against Atake Hideo, and he beat him in the Kisei prelims. He's played. What else has he played? He lost to Park Young-un, unfortunately. But yeah, he's doing pretty well against Ishida Yoshio. He's beaten him, 9-dan professional in Japan. He's beaten Narisi. He's beaten a lot of top pro. He's beaten a lot of top pros in Japan. So he's gonna be 9-dan. There's no way that this kid's not gonna be 9-dan. There's no way. And I think he deserves it because he's got a very interesting style of play. This was very difficult to pick out. You're right. I mean, it's more Aji, but maybe he needed to play here in order to kill him? I mean, I don't even know. When Black ignored the Atari? Take the Atari now, you think? You think that'll do it? And then this won't work? Yeah. That'll probably keep him dead. But the question then is, if you do that, isn't this going to enlarge, like, dramatically? I mean, I guess the corner dies, but the outside is, yeah. The outside's going to be very, very big. But yeah, crazy amounts of Aji. Difference between amateurs and professionals. So much more Aji. Anyway, hope you found this game interesting. This is why a Japanese player has entered one of my... We do this a lot of time, that's true. But this is why a Japanese player has entered one of my top players list. Let's see. I knew this was going to be short. I did not, in fact, have anything planned to back it up with, however. It's been a bit of an annoying week. I think I will actually cut this one a little bit short. I might make it up next time, because the next lecture is what this lecture was actually going to be. in that I'm going to find a bunch of games. I am not going to tell you if they are professional or amateur, and we are going to determine if we know exactly when it's good to attack and when it's good to play elsewhere. That's the idea behind next lecture. Because a lot of queues in particular tend to attack too long and make mistakes. Sometimes they don't attack enough, and that is a problem. So I'm trying to find some nice examples between various players, let's say, where you can actually see that take place, and you can decide for yourself if you are able to understand when you should keep attacking and when it's better to take profit elsewhere and then resume it later. It's a very fine line. Down-level players have trouble with it too, so it should be a fun lecture for everyone, except Red will probably get them all right because he's 40. Aside from that, be fun from everyone else. So join me next week where we do that, hopefully, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody.